Okay, first item on the agenda is the, to review the bills. Are there any, questions or anything on the bills, or do I hear a motion?
Wants to pay the bills as
I'll
presented.
second it.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? And Amy, do you have payroll?
Yes, we have payroll of $880,368 dollars for payroll.
Any changes or anything?
No changes.
Okay. Okay, great.
Make the motion to approve paper.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, any additions or corrections to our previous Commissioners Court meeting?
No corrections or additions to the regular meeting of April 24th, 2023.
Okay, thank you. Item 6, any public comments? Did anyone sign? Thanks, Chris. No, okay. All right, the next item on the agenda is executive session. So we're going to go into executive session for a little bit. So I'll just ask everybody to have a seat out in the hallway. Joe, you can stay. Craig, you can stay. Lisa, you can. clerk, and we'll get going. That's just busy. All right. We went out at 9:32. Back in at 10:27.
When did Dwight, do we know when Dwight came in?
Dwight got here at 9:36.
9:42. I'm not giving you any credit.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is to consider and or approve any action from executive session. Dwight, were you going to
Yes,
make a motion?
I move to continue into litigation regarding the tax
Lawsuit?
lawsuit with Porter Energy and giving permission for the council to move forward.
Okay. All right, have a motion? I hear a second?
Second.
Second, okay, any further discussion? All in favor? Great. And the next item on the agenda is to discuss and or rescind the decision regarding the petition requesting to close County Road Q, County Road 16, County Road R, and Clemens Road, located 0.7 miles east of State Ranch Road 1526 and southeast of 7 miles to State Ranch Road 2277.
I'll make it.
I'm gonna move to table the discussion until the next meeting.
Next Commissioners Court meeting. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? And Dwight's abstaining
And I abstain.
from that. All right, item 10 is to consider and or approve hiring Bailey Fife for the FCH extension position. And we have Josh Brooks here and Bailey.
Everybody, good morning. How are you all?
Good.
Good.
Everything's good here. The drive here was a lot greener than the last time I came, so I feel
Finally.
good about that final. Yep. I have Bailey Fife. She's from Colorado originally, WT. Got a bachelor's degree. She's been working for CPS and what was the other?
Southeast Health Group.
Southeast Health Group. And so I think she'll make an outstanding addition to our extension group down here in the basement. Her starting salary, y'all's portion of that would be $27,184. Plus her travel. Her starting date will be June the 1st. She'll have a busy first month. She'll go to state 4-H roundup with the kids, and then we have a thing called Discover Extension. And that'll be about the 3rd week she's in here, and they send her to College Station for a week to learn how to be a county agent. Her mentor will be Edie Bradford. And y'all all know Edie, so everything should be good with that. With that, do y'all have any questions for Bailey? Comments for me?
So I'm excited. We finally found the right person for, it's been vacant position for
Several months.
a while now. So we're excited about that.
I'm fired up. Her personality is really good. I think kids will be attracted to her. And, you know, I think she'll do good things in the adult program.
Great. Anybody have any questions?
You can make it too easy. That's a lot. She's pretty tough.
Any questions?
Hey, do I hear a motion then?
We need to state our salary too.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
27.
In the motion.
Yeah, 27,180,
$27,184.
84. Yeah. So we could state that in the motion. That'd be great.
You got it written down.
Make a motion to approve the hiring Bailey Fife for FCH extension position for the salary of $27,184.
Yes.
Starting
Starting
June 1st.
June 1.
first.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, congratulations. And I think Tara's here from the Fritz Eagle. and She wants to get a picture.
Oh, no.
Around here real quick.
And it's ours.
You can just stand right there in the middle. We'll come to
Get
you.
awkward.
She'll tell you.
Come right up here and we'll all crowd around you.
The second quarter there.
All right, ready? Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to have you.
And y'all said my last name right. Good for you. Everyone butchers that.
Okay. And as always, if y'all have any questions or concerns or anything, feel free to call.
Thanks for taking care of us, Josh. Good to see you.
Thank you. I have a district meeting.
Be safe.
Okay, thanks, Josh.
See you. Thanks.
All right, next up is our mid-year review from TAC Employee Benefits Consultant Kathy Davenport and Stacy Brewington. Nice to have you all here. Did y'all drive up last night?
I did. I drove up last night.
Did you
And
come all the way from Lubbock?
I did. I was gonna say, I'm so thankful I did because we got storms at home last night. that I would not have been comfortable with, so. Yeah, I made the drive last night.
We have this.
Yes, in the packets that Stacy put on in front of your places earlier is the information regarding the updated claims for this last plan year and a rolling kind of 36 months back. The first couple of pages, we kind of changed up how we are rolling out our information and telling our story about TAC and the health and employee benefits pool. Texas has seen one of the largest turnovers with this last election cycle in county judges, commissioners, and treasurers. So it's really unheard of. A lot of people don't know TAC or what we do, why we do what we do. So we're just kind of rolling out our story a little bit more and doing it a little differently. So that's just the first couple of pages. Starting on page 5 is where the claims information gets started. This report was actually run through February. Since that time, we have gotten updated claims information. I'm sad to say claims do not look better. Slightly better, but it's just to some of the claims that we're showing in February have kind of aged out. Claims will actually start rolling out about every 12 months. And so some of those claims did roll off, so it's a little bit better. In February, your 12-month loss ratio or claims experience was 146.91%. As of the end of March, it was 141.56%. And whenever we talk about claims experience, that is how much was paid out for the cost of claims compared to the amounts that y'all send in monthly on your contributions or premiums. As Judge Irwin said, our board did meet last week to finalize a lot of the renewals. October and November groups definitively are set. I will tell you, things were not looking, they were not looking bad in January, first part of February. Around Valentine's Day, I will tell you, for just about every group we have in the pool, the bottom fell out. March was a horrible month for claims for just about every single one of our groups. I've got groups that were running in the 60s and 70% claims experience that due to March was over 150%. It was just a huge bust.
Why do you think that was?
A lot of it is due to claims by providers are finally getting filed. There is a emergency, the emergency acts that were put into place at COVID expanded out the time frame where providers had to submit claims It gave them literally like 3 years just to make claims.
Okay.
That is ending. Some of it has already ended, so they're, part of it, they're in a rush to get 5. Now, for y'all specifically, that wasn't so much the case. We still have just a couple of claimants who are really driving the claims. As I've said in the past, with the conditions, they're where they need to be. So not gonna really not too hard on that door, okay? They're just some really serious conditions. We know over time, those claims, they roll off. If the members get better, it will over time get better. Y'all are kind of on that. Whenever I took over Hutchinson County 7 years ago, y'all had like 7, 8 extremely high cost claimants. That's not the case anymore. You actually had a total of 18 claimants that hit over the $10,000 mark. Really, 4 of them are what's driving the claims. 2 were over $500,000 alone, just 2 claimants. Your next 2 on that is running around 150,000. That's not bad. That 150,000 for your size group is not bad. Just know whenever for a group the size of Hutchinson County, they hit that $500,000 mark on claims. Unless you're an extremely large group, like 500 member group, it's really almost impossible to come back from those types of claims. And that's the good point with being in the pool, is because we do have the way we do our renewals. Whenever they go in through the renewal process, they will what we call shock out those claims. Like one of the claimants had an impact on your renewal. Not as harsh as it would have been with a regular carrier, because y'all would have gotten hit with the full impact. Because that one claimant is no longer on the plan, that got what we call shocked out. You still got hit with a portion of it, but not as much as the impact would have been. The other part of it, and I'm kind of stalling on giving you a heads up on the renewal, is the fact, because of how we do operate, even on the extremely bad years for the pool, typically we do not hand out double-digit increases. Hutchinson County in the past has gotten one within the last 7 years. But it was a situation of where, again, the entire pool was running bad. I think that year our pool needed amount was like 7.5%. And y'all got like, it was a 10.5, something like that. This year, our pool needed amount was 6.2% on average, the increase. And then we assess each group individually. Y'all are under 10%. Renewals will be going out May 23rd and 24th. Honestly, the increase that y'all are going to be getting is a 9.9% increase. That was what the board voted on Friday.
Just so you could say it was under 10%.
Just so we can say it was under 10. But like I said, and if the pool as a whole had a better year, honestly, what we're seeing in y'all's claims is not that much different than what we're starting to see in every single cancers, heart conditions. They're running rampant through every single county in the state of Texas right now. Those are literally what is driving the pool's claims. Okay. Do y'all have any questions at this point? I'm going to turn it over to Stacy and let her talk about the wellness information real quick.
Stacy's going to give us all the info to keep our costs down, right?
Yes. potentially. So taking a look at your plan spend for the last 2 years. So that's March 2021 through February of 2023. That's the date range for each of these categories. Your top 3 diagnostic categories, number 1, no surprise here, as Kathy alluded to, is cancer, followed by your musculoskeletal conditions. Number 3 is your factors. It's a big bucket. It's called factors influencing health status, followed by respiratory system. That factors of influencing health status, just think of it as a big bucket where things like genetic testing might play into, lab tests, diagnostic procedures, miscellaneous expenses related to inpatient and outpatient procedures. So just so you know what that is. Those are your top 4 that's driving your spend as far as your top diagnostic. From there, we take a closer look. We drill down on that and say, yes, but what part of that spend is directly related to your chronic conditions? And number 1 is heart disease. Of that, high blood pressure is your number 1, but high blood pressure, high cholesterol, coronary artery disease, that all fits into that health or heart disease. And that's right at $107,433 of that is for heart disease, followed by asthma. Again, if you're seeing respiratory in your top diagnostic categories, then we know what's driving that as far as your chronic conditions, asthma. And then number 3, diabetes. And that's no surprise across the board, as Kathy mentioned. What we're seeing in Hutchinson County is largely what we're seeing across the state. And really across the United States. Heart disease, number 1, and diabetes, number 2, is the top 2 chronic conditions across the board. Your prescriptions that are driving your medical, or the prescriptions that are driving that portion of your medical spend, number 1 is your cancer, your chemotherapy and cancer agents, followed by your anti-inflammatory agents, and then insulins, which is diabetes. So if we're taking a look at this from a wellness perspective, then in the back of our minds, we want to be considering, that have had the purpose of the pool is having access to those wellness programs. Most of the profit expense to your county or to our members for taking part in this. They just need to know about it, and they need to recognize the importance of coming on board and taking part in this. On the next page, the foundation, and y'all have a county specific incentive in place. So you know, and we understand the baseline of any wellness program is making sure that our members are out getting their annual physical exams. Why? We want to be able to potentially catch those pre-diabetics and pre-hypertensives before they develop into full-blown diabetes and high blood pressure. And then we want to make sure that they're well managing their conditions for those who already have those chronic conditions. And you run very high on your annual physical exams, 96% across the board is what you're averaging for your employees, for your county members going out and getting their annual physical exams. On the next page, page 8, then we do a deeper dive and say, yes, we understand the importance of them get their annual physical exams, but that unfortunately right there is not going to drive your members to take part in the wellness programs, which really makes an impact, a direct impact on the decrease in potential medical spend. We can realize that we can just get members on board and taking and engaging more in these resources that are available to them. Rosti is the vendor that we have that's responsible or available for those who have musculoskeletal issues. So we used to have a clinic in Amarillo. It has closed, but Rosti, just like MD Live, they are available virtually. So members can still come on board and engage. They just need to know about it because you don't have anybody right now engaging in Rosti. Wonder Health and Omada, that's our programs that we have available to decrease the risk for developing chronic conditions. So those are our 2 programs that we have for chronic condition prevention. We need to make sure that we have members engaging in those for sure. And Livongo, that's available to those who already have high blood pressure and diabetes to help better manage those conditions. And although Livongo is 15 members, that is still very low for as high medical spend that you have directly related to heart disease for sure, and then diabetes as well. On the last page that I'll talk about, just again, we're talking about a cost containment strategy. where the wellness programs can come in and directly benefit you through the medical spend. You have a high portion of those, or as I already said, getting their annual physical exams. So really where we need to center our attention is on Livongo, again, getting members engaged in, for those who have high blood pressure and diabetes, taking part in Evrysdi, that's really significant for your musculoskeletal spend. And then Omada and Wonder Health for trying to capture those who don't have diabetes or high blood pressure yet, making those necessary lifestyle changes before they again transition. All right. Kathy, I'll turn it back over to you.
As I was saying, renewals are going out, the 23rd and 24th. They'll be sent out by email, so I need Judge Irwin, keep an eye out on your spam box, because that's probably where it's gonna hit. They will be due back by, June 28th. So I urge you, if you have any questions, have us come back, get with Charlotte. Or if y'all want to look at other options, just let us know, or if y'all want to discuss something further. Just let us know, Stacey and I both will be bouncing around back and forth up here until probably the end of August, mid-September. So just holler at us or let Charlotte know, and we can always come back up and discuss something further.
And if this is a good time, I'd like to.
Yeah,
take this
I brought 'em.
opportunity.
Yeah,
Yes.
Siobhan brought them in.
Yes, excellent. So I just would like to take this opportunity. We have our annual boot camp with Healthy County every year in February. And I have the privilege of every year coming up and handing out the award for Judge Irwin and Siobhan being the sponsor and coordinator, and for Hutchinson County coming on board. This one specifically is to Judge Irwin.
And there's one for Siobhan too. I don't know why she didn't bring it in
Yes.
here. But we both got
So
honorable
for the
mention.
Iris Stagner, that is the award that we give out to our sponsors and coordinators, just thanking them for their engagement and their support in Healthy County. And Judge Irwin, we thank you so much for that. And
So
for
give them a little background on who
Siobhan.
Iris Stagner was.
Yes, so Iris Stagner was a coordinator. I'm sorry, the county is, I can't remember the county that she was
I can't either.
from, but unfortunately she did pass away in a bicycle accident. But she really was the boots on the ground for the county that she was the coordinator for. She was a AgriLife extension agent for this county and did many wonderful, wonderful things, got many programs up and running and got members engaged in the programs and saw a huge success for the people that she worked for. So Iris Stagner was just a wonderful person, and we give this award every year to our coordinators and sponsors who come on board and really are engaged in Healthy County and so supportive of them. So thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
And I'm not done yet. Highest participation award and most improved. So every year we take a look at the counties and see, are we getting more people engaged, not only in Sonic Boom, but in some of the programs that we have available through Healthy County. And we've seen an improvement in Hutchinson from last year. So kudos to you for every little bit, every step forward that we can achieve.
We're going to keep working on them.
That's right. That we're going to keep building on that year after year. And you always have the highest participation across the board for the participation in Healthy County Sonic Boom Challenges. So again, thank you all. Thank you, Judge Irwin.
Thank you.
all for supporting our endeavors.
We'll want to get a picture. So I'm going to grab Siobhan.
Siobhan, yes.
Julie, did you hope that we hired you after that presentation? Like, I don't know if I want to do that health part. That's your responsibility.
Actually, our FCH, yes, I have my card. I'm going to give you my card. We often collaborate with our FCH agents. So looking forward to that. I'm just going to let
You're already taking Josh.
somebody will hold.
Actually, these are, Stacey, this is a 2023. Those are 2022.
Okay.
This is 23. This is 22.
I'm sorry.
This one and that one.
I'll just show.
But these are our 22s or 23s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Siobhan, you're
All right, Siobhan, you
Put
got
a
it.
hand on.
I'm gonna hold it for you.
Yes, Stacey, well, thank you.
Oh. 1, 2, 3.
Y'all know you're not centered, right?
Sarah just did it.
Better?
It's a lot better, but we're gonna go with it. We're gonna go with it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good to see you. Yes, and we've got something on the calendar. Okay.
Thank you so much.
So you can go back and give us a wellness tips.
Get underneath there. Yeah.
Are y'all off to another county?
Yes,
Oh, no.
actually, we got
Fell.
7 minutes to get
Stepped on my wheel of the
to.
chair.
Oh, well, good luck with that.
Step on.
Hurry.
Hey, y'all be careful.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is to consider and or approve fireworks sale for Memorial Weekend. Who do we have here?
Becky Rose.
Okay,
They're actually traveling right now.
and your name is
My name is Matthew Prater. I'm her son.
Matthew Prather, Prather?
Yes.
Okay, Matthew.
And also volunteer with Extended Hands.
Extended Hands.
Yes, ma'am. She sent me this, and I'm just gonna read from it. I'm
Extended
not sure if I'm
Hands.
doing anything like this, so just bear with me.
Gross, Becky.
And she told me to read this. We're requesting permission to sell fireworks for the Memorial Day selling period. Wednesday, May 24th through May 29th. They have been watching the KBDI water index, and it is now at 331 in Hudson County. We understand the permission and contingent. The permission is contingent and could be revoked should the court seem necessary. We also use discretion as well as in selling the products. This is our major fundraiser that provide for the community outreaches that Extended Hand does. Example, school supplies for the Fritz Elementary students, Christmas community events, and the Easter community event. We also provide a variety of emergency services throughout the year. Food, until one of the main food pantries have a food distribution day. Providing transportation for homebound residents, grocery shopping. If they miss the Panhandle Transit, providing transportation to the doctor's appointments in Amarillo. Also on basis, if we cannot get them scheduled on another venue or some sort of transportation. Emergency shelter at the local motel if funds are available. And yes, they will provide a financial statement if requested. And that is all she has.
Hey, anybody have any questions? Very,
If we approve this, we're not approving it for Extended Hands, we're approving it for the Hudson County. So anybody could sell fireworks.
anybody could,
Yes,
yes.
I said that just to say it. I kind of knew that, but
My only concern, Jerry has it, but we are average 344. Places are 34 in the city, but a lot in the county. The 540 is the driest. That's a wide variety. And if you show the picture of it, the main saturation is in the city limits, pretty close to that. And where people go out to pop the fireworks are going to be in the county that is closer to 500. That's my concern.
Do you have a comment, Jerry, from the fireside?
From the fireside, I think that what Chris said, we do have there's a big difference in the average. We have the lowest of 34, we have 540. It all depends on what's getting rang, what's not in the county. Using the drought index, when you look at restrictions with fireworks, the only time that we can, once we take a petition and we say the commissioners court allows certain holidays to sell the fireworks in these holidays. Then we can restrict fireworks depending on like what he was saying. If we determine at the point that we don't want to do this, you can do that. But then once the drought index usually hits a 575 or higher. On other holidays like the 4th of July, that's when you can do restrictions. So kind of put in place this number of 575 or higher as a restrictive. Our area around here at this mark, we honestly normally around the 4th of July, this is what we're usually looking at. It's about average for our area. When it comes to businesses, I don't think, restricting businesses on sales is, to me personally, I don't think it's really going to affect us right now more than it would, if we get drier conditions, I think we definitely look at it. Right now, we're actually getting some green up. We actually have a little bit of some changes in the weather patterns that look like some moisture coming to. I think right now the commissioner's court was deciding if they're going to restrict the sale, because there's a lot of people who make a lot of money off fireworks sales. So if you want to restrict fireworks sales on that, or if you want to just keep it to like what Chris was saying, your high average is 540, but your lower is 34. In my opinion, I would allow the sale. I wouldn't restrict it for a private business.
What did we do last year?
They did not petition us last year. I don't believe so. For Memorial Day. I don't believe, usually your mom will call me, and I don't believe they petitioned last year to sell. I know she called me about one of the holidays that's not a legal holiday, but then I think they decided not to. So
My thing is, if we do it this year,
it's on a year-to-year basis. They'll have to petition the court every time.
the only
But-
deciding
It is-
factor would just be weather.
And as for certain like I said, there's certain holidays they have to do the petition for.
Yeah, only legal holidays are 4th of July and New
I'm
Year's
just
Eve.
saying we're basing on how we feel this year.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, and the conditions,
Yeah, every year. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
every
saying.
year.
Yeah,
every year.
but I'm not wired that way. So if I say yes this year, I'm gonna say yes every year.
Well, just
Yeah.
depends on the conditions, I think. If the drought index.
Yeah, now if the weather,
If it's.
yeah, the weather
Yeah.
is a deciding factor, but emotion or feelings and purpose doesn't weigh in. It's just the
Well,
weather.
it does though. I mean, for
It
the
has, to.
Texas Independence Day, San Jacinto Day, Memorial Day, we have like full discretion.
Right, correct.
Like the only thing we can use drought is some counties.
4th of
do Cinco
July.
de Mayo and then New Year's, Christmas, like that.
well, Cinco de Mayo is not a legal
And more
holiday.
restricted.
Well,
And
some
then,
counties have.
and then to take it further than that, if the drought
150 miles in.
Yeah, that's right. I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Right,
From
and then
the
to take
coast.
it further than that, if the drought index gets too high where we start issuing disaster declarations, stuff like that, we can take it further, which hopefully maybe that never happens, but in like what he was saying, in that circumstance, once it gets to a drought condition of 575 or higher, we can restrict. On these holidays here are completely up to the size.
That would be emotion driven.
Well, I don't see any benefit to restrict them
Yeah.
from sales.
Oh, the only benefit is when you get the citizens that call you about their
Dollars.
dogs and PTSD for veterans and things like that when they're going off in the neighborhoods behind. I mean, because we do get those calls. I'm not saying I'm for restriction, but that's the other side of the story, that there's a lot of,
Well, you're not allowed to shoot them in the city limits anyway.
there's a
Well-
neighborhood behind the Wilkinson's fire
So,
department stuff.
you know, They're breaking the law to start
You
with.
know, there's a neighborhood in Meadowlark and there's a neighborhood behind the fire.
I said
stand.
city limits.
City limits.
Yeah, they can pop them out there, and they're the ones that are
Meadowlark's not in the
calling.
city limits.
Yeah.
Also
Right.
remember,
Right.
you're restricting only sales. You're not restricting the discharge of fireworks. You're only restricting the sale.
Yeah.
It's not like they can go to
Right.
county next door, buy the fireworks.
That's what I was gonna ask, because
Oklahoma's
last year, I
365.
know they
Yeah.
didn't, they
Go
didn't
over there and get them.
appeal to the court, but we still had fireworks like crazy in Bridge.
Yeah.
On Memorial Weekend, even though we didn't authorize it.
And you have some of them that are left over
Yeah,
from other holidays.
absolutely.
Because we're just saying the sales, so it's so weird. This year, I feel I will move.
For this holiday.
Yeah, this holiday, I move to authorize the sale of fireworks for Memorial Weekend.
Under the condition that the drought index doesn't raise too high.
Yes, Well,
Well, we have to decide
Yeah,
now.
you
You
need to
can't
do-
make that restriction.
yeah, they just won't be able to go up in the air with.
Right, we can restrict the kinds,
Yeah, the kinds, but that's a law, state law.
Right.
but not the sale.
Yeah.
No.
So the motion was to allow the
Authorize the
sale.
sales.
Mhm. Okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? No, motion carries. All right, good luck to y'all. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. All right, item 13 is to consider and or approve pipeline crossing for County Road D for Will Jarvis. Wayne? Can I get that?
Will's local farmer up there and he has built a new irrigation well on the north side of County Road D. And he's needing to get 2-inch poly gas line over to it. Right. He's a local farmer. It's a public utility, so I'd like to waive the $1,000 fee and give him permission to put that in.
I move to allow the pipeline crossing on County Road D for Will Jarvis.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Hey, Dwayne, you want to sign this real quick? And then and you can get it from her. Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's all we need, right? All right, item 14 is to consider and or approve any ARP grant projects. We have a couple. Okay, our first one is from Commissioner Brock for the Hutchinson County Museum. You want to go over that? You want to look at this?
So there's 2 bathrooms on the east wall in the back where the water was coming in from the alley. And that's the quote to get water would come in and down the wall and kind of ruin some of that, like the sheetrock and the drywall. A couple of inches up, you know, that sheetrock, absorbs the water up the wall. So having those several flooding issues will give us a chance, once we get the tile replaced after the waterproofing project, we can get those bathrooms taken care of.
So we completely eliminated the water.
So there's a roof there on the roof. The last couple of rainstorms, we've had water down the wall in the middle. Like we think that there's a puncture in the TPO that they.
So they're looking at
for
that?
now, but nothing has come. The last couple of rains, over an inch or so, we haven't had anything from the back. So that I think we've completely we've eliminated that. Okay. So there's a couple of saturated spots that we saw that that building has a parapet wall right in the middle that runs down it. And so they looked at that on Thursday or Friday and they couldn't see anything wrong with that, but they're gonna mop it today or tomorrow. They're gonna mop the dirt off of it and kind of look for an area, bring a water hose. They said the air conditioning panel was off. And so if that fell off, it could create a puncture. in
A
the TPO.
puncture, okay.
So they're gonna get that done. We were supposed to start the tiling project tomorrow, but I told him, we pushed it back a week so we could hopefully get that done, because I don't want to get new tile and then
Right,
have that water standing on it.
Right.
So we're gonna move that job back a little bit. So that's where we're at on that.
okay, so this one amount,
Oh, and so that's to completely, this is it's 98.81 and 78 cents, and that's max. If they did it both at the same time, they'd obviously have to bring more employees, but we're gonna separate that to where there's just less employees having to do the job. And they said that would save some money too. So that's the max of getting new fixtures in there, getting in there, cleaning the joint from the toilet to the floor that water had been under for a long time, and getting that drywall paint replaced, ripped out and done correctly.
and
If there's any questions.
there's a quote, somebody,
That's new fixtures in both bathrooms.
Yes, sir.
You only get one. Well,
that
Yes.
from Ingle Home Improvement.
They've done the work at the museum there for a while, so that's just who we.
they do good work.
Any other,
Since it's under 10,000, I didn't, but if y'all as a court want me to get more, I can. It's up to you. we've been happy with the work they've done and they know the museum, so.
Right. Any questions? Any other questions for Chris?
Y'all have an issue with it only being one, or y'all good with that?
No, I'm good with it.
I'm fine with it.
As
It's under the pin.
Right.
Yeah.
But like I said,
meets our policy.
So you go in
So-
a second.
I'll make a move to allow the ARP, sorry, I didn't.
No, that's fine.
Once I grab it. To approve the ARP project at the museum with Engel Construction for 9881 and 78.
I'll second it. Oh, sorry.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Yeah. Any further discussion on this project? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, the next project is also from Commissioner Prock, and this is at the Hutchinson County Library in Borger, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Second. Look it up.
here, you can look at it.
Instead of that one, but I had.
Here's that.
All right, so this, we had talked about this in the past, getting cameras at the library, just because the Genealogy Society wants us to get them on that genealogical section to protect some of those books, because they said that's, there's a lot that are pretty priceless and very high valued because they're just one of one in the whole state. So we decided, since we're going to do that with a lot of the library location and where it is, we have a lot of people that come in that utilize our services, that some of them have warrants, some of them are unfortunately intoxicated. Some of them create some issues that being and this isn't a sexist thing, but being an all woman staff, well, we do have a part-time guy now,
Yes, we
but
do.
having a majority all woman staff, it's just a protection thing that I don't, being over the library, I don't, it just makes me nervous not having cameras sometimes, because they have texted me sometimes because they have issues with some of the people come in and disgruntled and I mean, there's just a lot of issues that I'll let Nancy kind of talk about if you have questions about it, but we decided to get cameras at the whole facility, some of the parking areas, entrance, exits, ladies leaving the library after in the winter when it's dark, when they're getting there in the dark in the mornings. Decided to put one in the club room just in case there's something that goes on that we need to go back and look, like an incident of non-refundable deposits, things like that. Just in this day and age, we've talked about safety, and it's just one of those things that library and the location, and they're great guests that use it. I think we need to do our due diligence and protect that. And that quote is for $21,268.71, and that's the only quote because they are the current IT security camera systems that we have at the county, and so it's
Right.
kind of a plug.
Access is
they
put in the
communicate
rest
with-
of our cameras, yeah.
And so they all communicate with each other. We will go back, probably, we have a lot of analog cameras that are pretty outdated at the museum. So this quote includes a larger housed hard drive at the library, because there's a fiber connection between the museum and the library that will house that at the library and get some more cameras at the museum too, because those cameras at the museum,
So the
we have
quote does include new cameras at the museum
no,
or
that's what I'm saying. We're
upgraded?
gonna get the cameras later for the museum since it's
Oh.
a separate department.
Okay.
But we went ahead and got a capable unit at the library. So if that does get approved, it's already there and we don't have to pay 2 hard drives.
Right.
Because on the museum side, we'll talk about that later. We've had some incidents that, since there's bars there, we went back to look at things and they're frozen, they didn't record, and they're just old cameras. So that's why I only have one quote on there, because they're kind of a sole source provider, being that they already are.
They do most of all of our camera
I
work,
don't know
right?
if Nancy wants to weigh in on the director's side of things of the need for cameras.
Well, I know there's been a couple of times I physically have had to block somebody out. And, we have all types of different clients for patrons that come in. So, at one time we did have to call the police department, a guy and a woman, kind of almost a physical altercation. So we had to get them out. And then there was another gentleman that we had elderly couple come in, and he kind of spied them and was like, I need money. Can I have money? Well, and then, of course, the girls got me, and I'm sure you cannot ask our patrons for money. So I said, you know, could you please leave? Well, he did, but he stepped right outside the front door over there by the book drop. So, of course, I was positioned where I could see him as if he didn't think I wasn't. And then I escorted out after they got their books, and I escorted them out. And as soon as, you know, I held the door for him. So as soon as they started, you know, he bounced on him again. So of course, you know, I jumped in between them and said, sir, you cannot ask our patrons for money. You know, I've already asked you to leave once. Will you please leave? And then, of course, you know. So, exchange of. So it, you know, but after thinking about it, when I came back in, I, you know what? I could have just as easily, if he'd have had a gun, you know, he could have pulled it out and shot me. So, you know, my instinct is to jump in and protect, but then in the same instance, I'm thinking, you know, I'm opening up myself to it. But that's part of, I feel as my responsibility as the director is to take care of everybody at the library, let alone, you know, premises. So we do have questionable, you know, people that come in, which we welcome everybody. You know, a lot of them, you know, use the free Wi-Fi, that is great. But, you know, there are times when we do have limitations.
Yeah.
So you said this is, I didn't get to ask the question, this is the company that provides the cameras for the courthouse also?
Right.
Okay,
And did they do the cameras at the jail access?
They've done.
Yeah.
They did, so.
Yeah.
and the
And the
one,
annex.
the one that Judge Mosley's talking to, is this the same? company?
No.
Oh, okay,
That's more Zoom related.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me clarify, they're not the ones that originally did our cameras, but he's the one who helps us now.
Oh,
Yes.
okay,
He's our go-to guy.
cool. Well, I like uniformity, so. I really don't know what I like. I'm just saying words.
Yeah,
You just talking, be
I'm just
talking.
talking, just so I seem like I know what I'm doing.
Do you have any questions, Jamie?
Any questions for Chris? Wanna make motion?
Make a motion to approve the library ARP project with Access Fire and Security Systems for $21,268.71.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Did you mention this?
Oh, no. So let me, can I, we have to
Amend it.
vote against that one.
Let's
We've
amend
already-
it. Let's-
I leave it like it is.
And amend your motion.
Well,
And then whenever, if the donation comes through, then we can apply
Okay.
it and it'll be a.
I forgot, I wrote the wrong number down. Yes. So the Genealogy Society, I meant to say that at the beginning, since they want that protection, they're giving $500 donated towards that. So the total would be $2768.71, not what I wrote down on that.
We need
Thank
to
you.
pay the entire 21 and then they will reimburse us the 500, or do we need to wait until we get the 500 and then we will pay the 20,000?
So I told them to donate it to us, and we would write the whole thing.
Okay.
So I guess we probably do need.
So we
to-
need to
Yeah.
approve the 21,000.
Yeah.
See, that's what. Glad
You
you
knew what you.
glad you keep me in check. No, I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay, well, so we have a motion. Did I hear a second?
Ben,
And a second from Ben. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Thank you for reminding me about it.
No problem. Okay. Are you done, Chris?
Dang, why you ask like that?
Oh, no, that's not.
I'm only two.
Okay, our
This time, yes.
Our next ARP project is from Hannah Connor at the Extension Office. Hannah, do you want to explain your request?
So I sent this request without knowledge of that I'd have to get a sealed bid for it. So we are going to have to send it out for a sealed bid. I did get quotes from different dealerships, and that is in there as well. So you can kind of see what exactly trucks are going for right now and those kind of costs and what I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, most county ag extension agents I know have a pickup truck, to be able to, one, haul kids around for different 4-H events, haul animals to a lot of the major stock shows, and then just be able to go to different extension events around the state. The ag agent does travel a lot more than an FCH agent. And I think right now, I think it's a necessity for Hutchinson. So that is the feel behind requesting this.
And then, the extension agent gets a vehicle allowance currently, so.
Yes, that's $500 a month, a vehicle stipend. I would like that to be pushed towards the credit card for diesel and taking care of the vehicle itself.
So I will transfer for a fuel and maintenance budget.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, the county never has bought diesel vehicles. We've always stayed with gas vehicles.
The reason behind the diesel is that eventually I would like to haul a trailer behind me. Going on those long hauls, it's better on the engine, better on the truck itself. But that's why I requested diesel. If that's an issue, I have no problem with gas as well.
So the county doesn't have a trailer.
No, the county does not have a trailer.
It's her vision in 5 years.
Yes, there's plenty of companies within, and people in Hutchinson County. I'd like to raise funds, for that. And I know tons of people who would be willing to donate as well. So I'm not really as concerned about that for right now. It's more along the lines of the county.
I did call Josh, towards the end of last week, and he said it's kind of 50-50 on.
Who
Some
has them
people
and who
decide,
doesn't?
yeah, they said that some of the agents just, they really, they just would rather drive their personal truck because they know. I mean, they just would rather get that fuel allowance and stuff like that, and that's just their kind of choice. They said it's about 50-50.
Yes,
There's
sir.
about 10 counties, he said, 10 out of the panhandle.
There are, and currently I don't have a pickup truck. I have a car that would hold about 3 kids in it. And so then with a pickup, you could haul 1, 2, 5 more kids or 5 kids instead of 3. And then eventually I'd request for a Suburban for our FCH agent as well, so to haul more kids.
And that did, so do you know, what's the liability?
Yeah, that's
on
where I
county?
was.
Like, because I know you probably have.
So no, I did ask Josh and Danny, his boss, that question as well. All 4-H kids are covered under 4-H, so they're taken care of. Myself, I'm covered through extension, through their insurance, and then the truck itself and or trailer, pickup, Suburban, anything else would be covered under county insurance. So it'd be,
So
So the only kids that you would be 4-H,
Yes.
uncovered by the 4-H.
and then I'm not sure what the policy is for my own kids in a county vehicle, but
But county policy is no personal transportation.
I would use my own vehicle.
I mean, as we're going, this is in general, this isn't about this. I mean, we've got to start narrowing down our vehicle policy in general, because I've seen family members and county vehicles, and that just reminds me when you're saying that. I mean,
Yeah.
they're breaking the policies now. We've got to get our vehicle policies nailed down of what units are staying where, what cars are staying where. We just got to work on that.
yeah, I agree.
Especially since we're getting, like, we just bought constables, we just bought new deputies. I mean, there's a lot of gray areas right now that we just need to be thinking about that.
Right. But that's another topic.
Right.
Well, I talked to Miss Hannah, and Leisha brought it as we were talking while y'all were in executive session. I apologize to her for not being proactive to let her know that she has to get sealed bids since it's over 50,000. And
You did give me a form to address whenever we get to that line item, to that agenda item. I do have her request to go out.
To go out for sale bid. Okay.
And so
If you approve the purchase. Using our.
can we talk about hypotheticals on the prices given?
Mhm.
Like legal, like the differences in the vehicles? That's
So
like what the vision.
on the sealed bid, we would just have to list the
Specs.
features, the specs, the features that are being requested. And then each dealership would submit a quote for those specific specs.
And this is
So-
all, everything I listed on there is just based off of recommendations from other agents that have county vehicles. And then personal, what I would think as well. So all of that is subject to change, whether or not that y'all feel that it is necessary or not at this time. So if there's something, if we want to go to gas instead of diesel, that's perfectly fine. Or short bed to long bed, that's fine as well.
So that was my question. On the third one, at Country, they have that 3/4 ton four-wheel drive long bed that is 56.
Yes, sir.
And so, I mean, we just have to ask those questions because that's a $15,000 difference on what you,
Absolutely.
so what
The
was
reason,
the,
that's, I put that third is just, I was trying to make sure that I put Country, Chevrolet first. I want to use, local. But that one is gas. And if y'all would prefer gas, I'm perfectly fine with going with option 3.
so that's why you prefer, the diesel was what, I didn't mean to interrupt you, sorry.
Yes,
That was
sir.
why you were leaning towards number 1. Okay. That was my question.
So on the specs for the sealed bid, would you just want me to list out these basic requirements, the base package, 3/4 ton crew cab long bed diesel, or?
Yes, ma'am. Work truck needs to, I mean, as basic as possible. nothing fancy.
And we can even go, have you heard of buy board? Have you ever talked about buy board?
She was just
Okay.
mentioning it this morning.
Because we could do that instead of. Because that has, I mean, are you opposed to looking at possible? Like used, because it said you like
Absolutely.
6,000 miles, right? You said around like 7,000 miles a year.
7,000 miles a year, yes, sir.
I don't know where, if I sit towards getting a new one with that. I mean, because that could be 60,000 over a decade. On top of if we get something that's. Potentially, and I know the market now, we might not have it, but if we can find something that's 40 or 50,000 miles, save some money. That's still doable.
Yes, sir.
My concern is, as we go, I mean, we bought these new vehicles, we're gonna have to add this to the budget.
Yep.
Like the constable cars are gonna come bring that, then this one, when that one wears out, so I just don't want to.
So in the next 10 years, we're gonna have lots of vehicles come onto our budget.
And if it's the same year, and that's
That's a lot.
$300,000 possibly.
It makes it sound very city. What's the difference between a diesel and a gas as far as towing? It's
Totally different.
Okay, that's all,
That's,
without getting into semantics.
I don't think
I know
what
it's
you're doing,
cheaper.
you need a diesel, but because of the cost.
Yes, sir.
And then none of the county departments are allowed to get diesel, so. Allow one, you allowed, but
I think gas engine would be better.
it would
I
be.
mean, they're
fine.
all plenty good.
Yeah,
No,
just
I
think-
agree.
You're not,
All the
you're not
while.
ever gonna pull a big gooseneck trailer or nothing like that.
Do you need a long bed too?
No, don't
Narrowing
need a
it down.
long bed either. It's just.
I
personal
mean, you
bed.
just
So
show.
it's probably easier to find.
Short beds are going to be.
Yeah,
Long beds are not. That
and
many of
then
them
you're,
out there.
if you got a crew cab, you gotta have a long, wide turning radius.
Yep.
You might be better off unless you need it for luggage, baggage or whatever.
That would be that, but if the trailer itself has a tack room, we can throw it in there as well. Or if we do end up getting a Suburban, we can throw it in that as well. Just depends. We can, and it also depends on how many kids will be hauling with me as well.
Are Suburbans higher than pickups now, or is that the same?
Be a lot more expensive than a pickup.
Well, even the basic.
Yeah.
Pickups are pretty high.
Yes, they are.
Well, I appreciate you presenting it. I think we're gonna have to wait till all of the stuff before we can. I know you were talking about going ahead and authorizing a price.
Well, going out for bid.
Or go, we can go out for bid, but do we set a price
You can
up to
go
this
and
amount?
look on Buy board, but if we go out for sealed bid, we can't then go look at buy board unless buy board submits a sealed bid.
But you can look at buy board first and then go out for
Yes.
bids, right?
But we could go look at buy board, and if nothing is available that we would like, then we can decide to go out for.
I would
bid.
start
Do
with
that.
buy board.
Yeah,
And then, so the last question I have on, you were talking about a vision of getting a trailer eventually. Have you run into like a lot of issues now with your car not having something you needed to tow personally? Is this something we need to buy now, or can it wait until the trailer is like more tangible as well?
No, I've run into the issue of not being able to haul things. One, just off the top of my head is scales for pigs. I've had to borrow my brother-in-law's truck to be able to toss it on the back of it. There's a trailer that is with that. I don't have the means to haul that one either currently. But no, absolutely. And then I had one kid, we had to find him a way to get to the county show because he didn't have a trailer for his animal to get there.
So how does that umbrella work? Say we don't, and that's not indicative where I stand. Say we don't get a truck and we say you have to use your car. What does that mean for you as an agent hauling kids in your personal vehicle from an insurance standpoint? Does 4-H still cover them
4-H still
while
covers them.
you're doing the
completely.
job?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'm still technically covered under
Extension.
extension. My vehicle, however,
You're paying personal insurance. Yeah.
I'm paying first technically, but my policy on the insurance on the car is to not technically have kids in the vehicle. That's a gray area I'll have to work with on my own, but
Now, with a diesel, you'd have to have a 3/4 ton. Are you still requesting a 3/4 ton with the gas engine?
I am, yes. I think a
wouldn't go
3/4
lower
ton
than-
is necessary if I'm going to.
Yeah.
You're gonna haul.
You pull a trailer.
Yeah, you got to.
You wouldn't want to have a ton of this.
He starts nodding.
I'm just saying, yeah, like, yeah. When you said 3/4 ton, I thought a quarter pounder at McDonald's. That's what my brain said. I let the men talk about this one.
Well, I just want to get all the stats ready for the bids or whatever we do. I mean, what you're really wanting, what you're needing.
The cool thing about buy board is you can change up the searches too and kind of see what all is out there and narrow it down.
Okay.
Like the bidding process, you have to say pretty much exactly what you don't have to, but I mean, buy board, you can kind of narrow it and see that definitely doesn't work. And if we can't find something, then we can go out for bid.
Absolutely. Okay. Does there need to be a motion on anything at this time or no?
Well, we'll cover that under that agenda item to go out for bids.
This table it too.
So
But they're gonna go look at buy board first, right?
Yeah.
Really no action needs to be.
We wouldn't take any actions today at all. It'd just be by board
I
stuff.
mean, we'd have to decide if that's.
Table this for later.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we table it
That's
I'll give it to you.
till we get.
Show you how to look it up. on
Okay,
Buy Board.
we have a motion, and a second to table this ARP project application till we get some more information. Any further discussion on that? All in favor?
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you.
And you might hold on a second. I mean, take your seat and we'll bring up that other issue later. I think that's it. I think that's all the ARP projects that I have today. So item 15 is to consider and or approve the burn ban or rescind the burn ban. So we did actually rescind the burn ban. May the 4th. Jerry called me and the drought index was down to 330. 330, and there was a bunch of people that needed to do some burning, so we went ahead and lifted the burn ban temporarily.
And you all saw the current burn ban or current KBDI drought index of 344. We have a pretty decent chance of some weather Tuesday through Thursday, and then this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, a really good chance. So let's turn out. But normally we look at that 500 mark is when we start having our larger wildfires. So over the last couple of weeks, with moisture that we got, we dropped our KPDI over 200 points. So dispatch probably got 30-40 phone calls of people trying to do prescribed fires and burns. So
I saw about 5 that came across on active 911.
Soon
Yeah.
as we lifted it, everybody was burning
Yeah.
limbs and things like that. So it definitely helped out the citizens to be able to do that. We hate putting these in place, but sometimes we don't have them.
Yeah. But there were no issues with that.
We
The
had
controlled
no-
burns, yeah, good.
Or no issues during. But I'd ask that we take no action, leave the burn ban off for now, and then just monitor weather patterns. See what happens.
Y'all good with that? Okay.
Sounds good.
No action at this time. Thank you. All right, item 16 is to consider and or approve disposal of obsolete office equipment. I have one request from the district clerk's office for a broken Monroe calculator.
We would allow the disposal of the presented obsolete office equipment.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item 17 is to accept certificates of completion from elected or appointed officials.
Did not have any certificates.
Okay. Item 18, consider and or approve request for use of club rooms at the Border Library or Fridge.
I don't have any at this time.
None other than what I reported last meeting.
Okay, great, thank you. Item 19, consider and or approve line item changes, transfers and or budget amendments.
I just have a couple of line item transfers. One is just for the ARP projects that were approved at the last Commissioners Court meeting. And one is moving $1,800 from equipment to vehicle maintenance in the jail.
I move to approve the proposed line item transfers and amendments as presented.
No, second it.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, y'all will sign. Item 20 is to consider and or approve advertising, opening, accepting or awarding bids.
We still have the bid for the library roof going on. The open date for that is Monday, May the 15th.
Okay,
And then I received a request to go out for sale bid to sell some office furniture for the county attorney's office. He's got a wood dining table with 4 chairs that he would like to go out for sale bid to sell. And so they would just he set up a time where they could come and view it, and then they would
submit the bid.
submit the bid, and then
Okay,
we could decide. He has it set. He requested that the sale bids must be submitted by June the 5th at 6. So we can open them on June the 6th at 9 a.m. So we can present them at court.
Okay.
And then they can view it on May the 31st. It's in Florence there. So all that will be published.
okay. And then we also have requests for,
And then the request for the county extension truck, if y'all would like to go out for sale bid, or if we want to hold off on that and just look at buy board.
I'd say what Joe said to begin with, buy board first and then
go seal bid if we want to. Okay.
So I guess we just need to approve the county attorney.
I move to approve opening up for bids regarding the furniture at the county attorney's, from the county attorney's office.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item 21, consider and or approve donations to Hutchinson County. We have to work on that. Item 22, accept reports from elected or appointed officials.
For April 2023, reports were submitted by Kelly Ratliff County Clerk, Tammy McBrayer, District Clerk, Amanda Wysong, Justice of the Peace Precinct 2, the Library, and Jerry Langwell, Fire Marshal. Amy Batt, County Treasurer, submitted April 2023 financial report. Tax pool rate as of May 2nd, 2023 was 4.80%. Dwayne Chisholm, Road Superintendent, submitted written report for dates April 24th, 2023 to May 7th, 2023. And that's all I have.
Item 2020, yes. Do we have another one? Oh, that's the sealed bid. Oh. Item 23 is discussion of county judges and commissioners precinct daily operations. Anybody? There, as y'all can hear, they're working on the roof.
Yeah, we're still working on it. But they did work all week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to keep as much noise down as possible. So doing the best. They're doing a good job. I'm impressed with them.
They have a timeline, weather pending on it being.
No, well, we started out with one crew, now we got two, so it's a little faster. Working on the jail and the courthouse same time now. So, they're, I don't know, another week and a half probably.
Besides what I covered everything about the municipal library. We're like Leisha just said, we're getting the bids for that roof currently.
Okay.
And I don't, do you want to talk about the book sale? Or
Yes, we actually had a fantastic book sale. We netted over $2,000.
Oh, good.
It was one of those. So now it gives me a bunch more.
the Friends of the Library?
It's been a long project, but we got the National Weather Service transmitter up and going. So it's programmed and working and, Gladys, if you want to key to it. So this is what it actually is. These are weather alert radios. The county has actually handed LEPC, the county and city board of first and they've actually handed out over 365
Free.
weather
They're
alert
free.
radios for free.
Yeah.
We attended weather spotter training courses and all that, so we received donations through the LEPC for getting these out to the community. So we actually still hand out quite a few to people that we're actually running low on stock right now, so we're hoping to try to look at some grants for some more of those. But so it's up and operational and actually it actually alerted the other night for the first time. So pass that along.
Yeah, I think everybody that had those radios before and then they didn't work because we were working on the tower and getting all that upgraded are super excited now that their radios are working. So.
I was gonna say one last thing. If y'all get a chance to go by the library and the book room that the Friends of the Library have, Gail Warren and a lot of her volunteers, they stripped down a lot of the old shelves and they made it look really, really nice. So I just want to give them a shout out, the volunteers that worked with the Friends of the Library to do that. They worked really hard. So if y'all get a chance to go check it out, it looks really good. Cool.
Well, as you'll know, my niche is kind of personnel and policies and procedure stuff. And so we are officially on May 17th, going to have our first department head meeting. Those are the departments that answer directly or report directly to the court. And we're going to establish some of the already established job descriptions. We're going to get those implemented, as well as talk about kind of what we just experienced right now. Where we, on our agendas, possibly have the department heads report once a month to the court and have a separate section for them to get to share their reports and talk to us as commissioners and the judges and kind of give us those, what's going on. And just like Chris was talking about the ladies, that would be something Nancy would be presenting to us at her monthly report to the court. So that way, department heads feel like they're part of what we do and get to communicate on behalf of what's going on, as well as just connect with us, create the team a little bit. There was a mindset that I've done research as we've been talking that they are fine being Lone Rangers. They enjoy that, not having to have a lot of oversight, which is great. But they also, at times when crisis hits, don't feel like there's no one to talk to or process through. And there's been a comment that, well, if y'all were interested, y'all should come and talk to us. Well, that's not how government or business works. It's the opposite, actually. They come and report to us. And so that's going to be something that we're going to try to implement. I've sent a copy to the judge of kind of what that would look like. And we'll discuss those things at our first commissioner court department head meeting on May 17th. I'm looking forward to it. I know change is always a little nerve wracking and a little daunting at some point, but it's really fun. I know that sounds it's really kind of cool where we're all kind of in this together as a team. Makes it a little more exciting and no one feels like they're out there by themselves. And so I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be good. Thank you guys, the court, as well as the department heads for being so receptive to me. I haven't been faced with any kind of stoning or flares, at least to my face. You've been very kind to my face. And so I appreciate that. For maybe talk behind my back, but what I don't know don't hurt me. So I've really enjoyed it. And thank you for department heads as well as commissioners court for being so open to this. I appreciate it.
Anything else? What's the status on the airport house? Have we heard from insurance?
I do have an email regarding it. I have not had a chance yet.
To really look at that.
There you
Okay.
go.
I haven't heard from Alicia about it.
Okay,
So
all right.
About it, but
I will see what they say this afternoon
Okay.
and I will
Let me know.
you'll know.
make some kind of proposal.
Yeah.
Do.
Anything else on item 23?
Have the engineers and the contractors got together at the annex?
No. I'm gonna call today and see.
Talked to Jim about that last week.
Yeah, that was a mess. I think I got it straightened out, but I need to find out for sure.
Okay.
Gonna do that today.
All right, thank you. All right, anything else? All right, item 24 is to consider and approve sale of struck off tax properties and tax deeds. We have a few. Did y'all? Sorry. The first one is located at 102 2nd Street in Sanford.
They're all, so you have 102, 103, and I believe 104.
104,
They're all the same, or same lady, or same, I guess it's a lady.
103,
Same
103.
people, the same people purchasing these things. So
Yeah, which is a bid of 250 for 102, 250 for 103, and 250 for 104. Has been made by Jessica Brown Rhines and Elijah Rhines from Amarillo.
they're undeveloped.
Yeah, the taxes haven't been paid since 89 and 2007 and struck off in 2003 and 2014.
So
And appraised at 970, 880, and 630. And they're undeveloped properties.
undeveloped, nothing to see here.
It just looks like a,
Mhm.
Which I figured by now I'd run out of undeveloped properties. as
Right.
We've been bidding, but there's quite a bit. So I moved to approve all three as submitted in the amount of $250 each, 103, 104, and 102.
102, 103, 104. Yeah, yeah.
But
Okay, so we have a motion and second to accept these three bids. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. The next property is located in Stinnett, lots 18 through 20. I need to sign those. Lot 3, Well, submitting an offer of $100 has been made by Chris Brock. That's you.
So I just added.
You can't vote on this. Taxes have not been paid. I think personally, we need more money.
I think that's.
I know that the property was appraised at $300.
Oh, property is appraised at $300.
Yeah, it struck off back in 99. But no taxes paid since 89.
I moved.
And this is what it looks like?
Yeah, that's,
Just under, well, I mean, I don't know.
that's Old Plymouth, so that's, is this,
Yeah.
This is
What?
an Old Plymouth.
I wouldn't send to me, so I can't talk.
What?
Is this a conflict, because we're talking about them roads down there that use these roads? That these lots, that's how you get to them?
Is that what this is?
Yeah, this,
Lots in Old
I don't know how
Plymouth?
much I can talk.
this is an Old Plymouth down there where we're talking about those roads, so it just.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's a conflict, but it could be perceived as a conflict. I don't know the answer to that.
But you'll have to decide.
Okay, do y'all want to table it? Until we get that answer, because we can ask our county attorney.
I'd rather have the
Yeah,
answer, just to
I
be
think
safe for everybody.
Absolutely.
Since we're in the middle of something.
Yeah,
This would
okay.
be a bad timing.
I'd rather table it for now.
Do I have a motion?
I moved.
To table.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion second to table this until we get a little more information. All in favor? Okay, and you're abstaining? Okay. Okay, I think that's it. That's all I have for the taxes. So anybody have anything else?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor? Motion, meeting adjourned.
And now I want to